to have a company like my personality. So I bow down to all the acharyas, all the rishis, all the saints, all the sages, all the modern creator of the modern world, from every angle and from every discipline. However, my primary motto is going to be continuity of ancient Vedic tradition with innovations. So you will see new terrain, you will see new ideas, and you will see articulation which is new. And as a result, we will be using our understanding to bring out the Renaissance in Bharat as well as in the other world tradition that we will talk about as we go along. Even the Western world is looking for those ideas, looking those aspects of the reality that they have been missing so far. So I will be singing some ancient songs along with some new songs in front of you, and I beg your pardon. Thank you. Just a beautiful note. Power ideas, when brought into practice, can give birth to new civilizations and empires. It can also bring their demise and collapse. During this course, I will be demolishing some of these delusions, what you call doing the khandan, and bring out new perspective that will give us a better understanding of the contemporary world that we live in. I will request with my folded hand to each of you, please, whatever experience you have, and you have some wonderful experiences, keep them in a small corner of your world of memory and enlarge your consciousness. Because I will be going from one terrain to another terrain, one world to another world as I move through. So I will request you to everyone prepare for it. Indian civilization is in mode of crisis, yet it has a Sanatan Dharma foundation, which will be based on the doctrine continuity with innovations. But together we had to work with full commitment to dynamic principles of Lokasamgraha Yogadharma. We will be defining in later on in other, in successive lectures. Can we recall the eternal words, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yarta Partho Dhanodhara? We need two wonderful personalities, Yogeshwar Krishna and Arjun Dhanodhara. And everyone must contribute positively to this mission. So we'll be, as we going through the power of ideas, and we'll be pointing out also how the ancient civilizations and empires have collapsed, what were the forces behind them, like Roman Empire, like British Empire. Many other empires have come across and gone. Many civilizations come across and gone. Why we are still surviving? Of course, we are wounded civilization. And the beginning of colonial subjugation that created a mentality of slavery. And this is the Lord Thomas Macaulay, 1835. We must at present do our best to form a class who may be interpreters between us and the millions of whom we govern, a class of person, Indian in blood and color, but English in taste and opinions and intellect. This powerful idea became the ground for delusion and changes in that you see in contemporary India. How powerful it was, how powerfully it was executed by only minuscule of the people, English people, the colonialists, and how we became blinded not to see the future, not to see their intentions and hidden agenda. The Vasing India and Sanatana Dharma has a long, long history. But I will simply give you representative quotation from the colonial times. And Max Muller, who was really fascinated by the Rig Veda and Indian wisdom, but he turned around and says, if the Rig Veda is root of their religion, Hinduism, and to show them what root is, I feel sure that the only way of rooting all that has been spring from it during last 3,000 years. So if we ridicule, ignore the original source, Rig Veda, we are set for colonial rule. Another Secretary of State of India, Duke of Ardagh, ancient religions of India is doomed, and if the Christianity does not take its place, whose fault will it be? They also see the arrogance, see the ahankar. The Anglo-Saxon race is the first race in the world. Native is to be treated as a child and denied the franchise. We must adopt a system of despotism such as works in India, such as Rhodes, which became the founder of Rhodes Scholars that you can hear at the Oxford University. He is the founder, and he has this kind of deep-rooted mental makeup. Now, somebody came up with a history called John Key. He's a British historian, very well-known historian. He wrote something very beautiful and authentic and truthful, full of satyam. He says clearly Harappan settlements were not just India's first city and township, but its first, indeed, the world's first planned cities and township. Another very powerful statement. Historically, it was Europe, not India, which consistently made religion grounds for war and state of an instrument of persecution. So he very powerfully says it was Europe, not India, which fought religious wars in the world, even among themselves, and created a state, an instrument of persecution. This is the Europe. So let us move forward, and I will invite everyone to ponder upon what we are going to learn through this course. Let us get situated in Dhyana Yoga, just like the ancient Rishi, which you see over here. And why this topic? A great question. Will be uncovering the hidden world of this, behind this great question. So this is the format: civilization crisis, Bharat as well as the West. What is the melody? That's the melody. Has to be taken care of. We will be talking about the melody, but analogy is going to be curing a disease. First, we have to find out symptoms, diagnosis, medicine, and follow-up. The state of Hindu civilization, for example, serious lack of wisdom-based education, theoretical as well as practical at all levels, in all the dimensions, except Ayurveda and yoga. What are the consequences? Confusion, conflict, dilemmas, and paradoxes. This is the a short list of melody. Disconnectivity, compartmentalization between Hindu wisdom tradition and contemporary human knowledge, sciences, humanities, and art. In between the generations, younger generation versus older generation, between the personal, family, social, and professional lifestyle. Disconnect, fundamental separation. As a result, we are facing a lot of miseries. Missing Rashtriya Chetana. When we talk about the Bharat Rashtra, remember the colonial rule, Bharat became India, and even during after 47 transfer of political power to India, we kept the same old terminology, ideas, administration, educational system, what we adopted from the colonial worldview. Further, excessive differentiation, loss of unity within the diversity and plurality, fragmentation, disharmony, discordance, dissonance, etc. These are the very wonderful terms. I'm not going to dwell on those. I'm giving you the list. Alienation, loss of peaceful living, loss of meaning and purpose. Perpetual conflict, disease of all kinds. Deep political polarization in the world. Look at the America, look at the India, look at any other country. Prevalent hate, anger, conflict, and wars. And now we have internal separation, which is really the mind-boggling, but it has to be considered. And I'm going to look at these internal separation within this course, between Vedas, Upanishad, Purana, and Ityasa. Among the 6 darsanas, Sankhya Yoga and Padarth Vigyan has been ignored, even ridiculed, at the expense of only Advait Vedanta branch of Vedanta Darshan, and especially English media. It's still continuing. We will talk about as we go along, between sciences, art, and humanities, and among various sampradayas. Separation of Buddha Dharma, Jaina Dharma, Sikh Dharma from the common ground of Vedic Sanatana Dharma. Separation of Indian constitution from the ancient Bharati wisdom tradition. Separation of educational models from the real multidimensional totality of very existence, meaning, and purpose. Consciousness toward Raj Dharma, Raj Dharma has been lost for more than 1,000 years. List goes on, and these are the symptoms of the disease. So what is the solution? To diagnose and to cure, and we will be talking the diagnosis as well as curing, going through these wonderful fields of wisdom. foundational world of melodies, Vedic doctrine. There are dual forces with own fields. Kshetras are called the fields. Change of degree of overlap with changing time. You can look at the two spheres here. One is Sanatan Sat Yogadharma-Kshetra. Other one Asat Adharma-Kshetra, with a deep, dark Agyara. They are always together. Sat and Asat fields are always together. Dev Vritti and Dana Vrittis are always together. Their degree in proportion, they varies from time to time. In the language of mathematics, the fields are the function of time. And this is what the foundation of cyclic world of four yugas. These two overlapping, currently we have more overlap, where the Asat Adharma-Kshetra has taken over the Sanatan Sat Yogadharma-Kshetra. In different ages, the intersection was very small. As the age changes, intersection becomes larger and larger, and then it is engulfed, taken over by Asat Adharma. One time I was giving lecture at Delhi University several years ago in front of distinguished thinkers, teachers, and students. And I felt sorry to recall, I said, our logo is Sattame Vijayate. It must be changed to Asattame Vijayate. I had to say that. If anybody has objection to it, please let me know. I will prove my point. Let me sing a line of one song, which is, I think, old movie, Jis Desh Mein Ganga Behti Hai. I think Raj Kapoor is singing. Onthon pe sachai rehti hai, हर दिल में सफाई रहती है, हम उस देश के वासी हैं जिस देश में गंगा बहती है. Wonderful, beautiful vision and statement. But I had changed this statement based on my education when I was born and brought up in my motherland, Bharat. ओंठों पे झुटाई रहती है और मन में बुराई रहती है, हम उस देश के वासी हैं जहां मैली गंगा बहती है. This is the transformation has taken place. My dear listeners, and we have to go back to original pristine wisdom, and depending upon the time, this is the Kali Yuga. But we had to keep that lamp of wisdom alive, light it, and it can become Prakash Punj. This is our collective responsibility. Lokasamgraha. This is our collective responsibility. And now there are newborn deities. God and religions of the West are almost dead. But they are going to flourish in India if we are not careful about it. New deities are born. Spiritualism, sciences, rationalism, materialism, etc. Technologies, that we are going to go on the moon. We are going to colonize the moon. We are going to colonize the Mars, because we are fed up after we have colonized this planet. We are fed up with this existing humanity. So we have to go out of this planet to colonize other planets and start fighting and creating melodies there too. Cultural nihilism, I will keep on describing later on in later courses as the context come in. Capitalism, communism, leftism, wokeism, and many other isms, including when we named our Vedic wisdom as Hinduism. All the isms are in danger and losing their power. And we will talk about dead ends of the Western thought process in almost every discipline. I will give you examples.
I know this.
Recent studies in America. This is published on May 2nd, 2023. Marriage collapse, absent fathers, unraveling Christianity's growing US crisis. It is growing US crisis study. Churchgoers in their 30s who never married ranked the loneliness group in the new survey. Loneliness has become a new, potentially most powerful disease in the Europe, America, in India going to be, and it's going to spread in all parts of the, including Japan, China. Loneliness crisis sweeping America could be as deadly as smoking. Surgeon General has given warning. Murthy released 81-page advisory to raise awareness about the issue on Tuesday. They are going to establish a several department to deal with this problem of loneliness. Why there is a loneliness when the whole world, cosmos is being interconnected through internet media, through smartphones, through what you call the artificial intelligence network? Why we are still alone? है भीड़ कितनी फिर भी अकेला, हे भाई जरा देख के चलो. What a prophetic word. कितना सुंदर शब्दों का प्रयोग किसी है लेखक ने, किसी राइटर ने किया. वो आज पूरी तरह मुझे दिख रही है. They are coming into full fruition. First time in the history of United Kingdom, a separate ministry to deal with the growing crisis of loneliness has been established. My dear listener, this is the high-tech advanced civilization that India must imitate, and still we are continually doing that through our all aspect of human education in India. What a wonder. What a delusion. What a degree of ignorance. Many, look at I can claim majority of the intellectual elite class in India living in a state of darkness. They do not understand the internal human crisis within the American people. American people and thinkers by themselves are pointing out with the voice, which are the minority voice. Watch out, even the so-called foundation of the current political system, democracy, has going through the deep cracks. Limitations of mechanistic material sciences. Why most published research funding are false. Most current published research findings are false. The probability that research claim is true may depend on study power and bias and height. The number of other studies on the same question, and importantly, the ratio of true to no relationship among the relationship proved in each scientific field. This is published in 2000 in a very prestigious journal. According to a Journal of American Medical Association called JAMA, more than 1/3 research results published in medical field are falsified within a year of their publication. If you do not hear this in Indian scientific world, you don't hear this. About contemporary medical science, this is the quotation from a medical editor of eminent journal. Reference, I'm giving the reference to. Afflicted by studies with small size sample, tiny effect, invalid exploratory analysis, fragrant conflict of interest, together with obsession of pursuing fashionable trends of dubious importance, science has taken a turn towards darkness. I have so many distinguished thinkers are raising these voices. They are minority, but they are raising their voices because there's too much hype. There are so many causes behind it. And if people are thinking in the world, if they take the current practices in every field of knowledge blindly without critically assessing them, then we are also going to be doomed to darkness. Look at another fashion. This is super hype. Artificial intelligence. The unreal world. Gela is the founder of companies, very, very prominent individual. And he has bestowed professor, author, outspoken in his criticism today's big tech-driven society. He writes, the Wall Street Journal WSJ asking him, how will AI change the home and family lives of the people in this room? Galloway said, you will get richer, but your kids will get lonelier and more depressed. Most of the technologies we are coming back with, or a lot of them, are pouring fuel on this flame of loneliness, where we are finding reasonable specimens of a relationship. Social creates this illusion that you have a lot of friends, but you do not experience the friendship. Hey, bhai, zara dekh ke chalo. Hai bheed kitni fir bhi akela. Each and every one of the audience must be carefully observing this, experiencing this. That loneliness eventually, if you are not filled with the Vedic wisdom and practices, you will become lonely as soon as you retire. And you become so lonely that the life worth living will seem to be meaningless, purposeless, lost. Now a professor, very distinguished professor at DePaul University, professor of philosophy, he said this Chat GPT kind of technology will give death of the professorship, death of learning. The machine itself would have become not even new digital deity, which is already is, but rather deity for a new race of transhumans, those for whom freedom, autonomy, personal sovereignty are already anachronism. These ideas do not have any meaning. Values do not meaning. If you talk in the corridors of academics and say, let's talk about the truth, Satyam, they say, I don't know what you're talking about. That's the answer you are going to get. Another one, AI doomsday. Runaway AI is an extension risk expert warned. Leading figures in the development of AI, including OpenAI CEO Sam Altman Google DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis have signed a statement warning the technology they are building may someday pose existential threat to humanity comparable to that of nuclear bomb and pandemics. It can be that seriously can bring the demise of humanity. Another counter argument. I am a rational optimist. Here is why I don't believe in AI doomsday. This is Mr. Rohit Krishnan. He has written recently an article. Two opposing views, a degree of uncertainty. Oh my goodness. Am I? Rajiv ji.
Yeah, you need to share the screen.
Okay, that's what I'm not sharing so far.
Yeah, go ahead, do it now.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that this happened. I really apologize that I thought I'm sharing. Just wait, please.
We can see you and we can listen also. There is no problem.
Okay, I'm trying to fix it.
No, I tell you, since starting till now, 2 minutes back, everything is absolutely fine. We can hear you, we can see you. So that
only okay, I thank you so much, but let me
yeah, go ahead, share the screen. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure it out how to do it. Because without sharing, my goodness, this is not, it's not good at all. So let me go back. I'm so sorry. This is the mishap happened.
Please take your time. Please take your time.
I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
There is a green share screen arrow in the bottom.
Yeah, that's right. So, it's unfortunately not coming up. Unfortunately, it's not coming up. I'm using the PowerPoint. It's not working. I don't know why.
Yeah, just send it to me. I'll share it.
Here we see now.
Now see that? Okay.
Yes, yes.
I apologize. I really apologize.
Your talk was interesting without slides, so
Okay, thank you.
no need to apologize.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
But
Fine.
please start from the beginning. I know it's repetitive, but please do start from the beginning.
The slideshow?
Yes,
Okay.
start from the beginning, please. Repetition is fine.
Okay. So should I repeat the whole thing?
Yeah. Please, briskly, but yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Go through the slides.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. I will do that. Now you can see.
Yeah, now you can see your slide, uncle.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I presenting here myself in a paradox that I was born and brought up in sacred land, Bharat, but into culture of mental and intellectual slavery. So really, I call myself, if you call it crazy maverick, a lonesome journey that I have taken, and I'm continuing. And I bow down to all the acharyas, all the rishis, all the saints, all the sages, all the entire humanity as a part and parcel of Godhead. I'm sitting on the shoulders of their wisdom, their experiences. And I want to keep moving forward with the notion and with the doctrine of continuity with innovations. Power of ideas, I've been talking about, the very, very powerful. Are you going to retain my earlier talk? Power of ideas.
Yes.
Pardon?
Yeah, my suggestion would be that we have already gone through the slides. If they will be in the classroom, then we can go through that.
Perfect.
You can continue because that breaks your continuity of thoughts also.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
That is just my suggestion.
That's wonderful. Here is one interesting phenomenon. Look at the making of nest by birds. No school, no teacher, yet the world's best engineer. How do they do it? They have learned mathematics? Have they learned physics? Have they learned many other technologies and ideas that come into play while making such kind of nest? And wide variety of nests by wide variety of birds. And my dear listeners, you won't believe it. Despite all the paper published in the consciousness and modern understanding of the meaning of cognitive or intelligence, we don't have an answer. Only answer they can give you, the current, what we call trapped evolutionists. Oh, this is the millions of year evolution created this kind of intelligence in the world, or animals, or human beings. Well, this is the kind of blind, this is not an answer at all. This is a blind faith in something that we do not understand yet. And my dear friends, I will tell you, share with you as we go along later on, that even the Darwin's theory of evolution is in serious crisis under the modern understanding and research in the field of biological evolution. Christianity had declared long ago the animal, birds, women do not have souls. And we always try to mistranslate Atman as soul, which is a fundamentally wrong, fallacious, and damaging to the Vedic wisdom. They have no intelligence. Scientists till the late 20th century will keep telling you that they don't have intelligence. Now there are a lot of work has been going on. We say, oh my goodness, they are, in some birds and insects are more intelligent in their own function than we are. What a change. And we still in Indian education system do not bring out the limitations of the contemporary models and ideas in sciences. Why science cannot settle political disputes? Contrary to the popular image of scientist and monastic explorer of truth, science has been socially shaped and steered since its very beginning. Socially say, very, very important, very, very important. This is the new paper has come up with. Socially say, oh, this is the Lokasamgraha effect on the scientist and scientific establishment that they claim that they are working on the truth. I tell you, based on my and many colleagues' understanding and many younger generation understanding, you walk down to the aisles of the ivory towers of the scientific world. Most of the time you'll hear, if you ask them, are you looking for truth? You will hear the answer, I don't know what you're talking about. We are looking for two things currently. Truth has gone in background, in drowned in the deep water. We are looking for in this world of America, Western world and world of America, especially in the academic world, money and power. Political power, academic power, and money. So all these powers are driven by money, money, money. Sarve guna kanchanamaasrayanti. For example, let's look at this. This is the May 26, 2023. The smallest particle in the particle physics are found to be quarks and electrons. Does something smaller exist? We do not know yet. But the classical question in modern progress, the quotations and the understanding the idea, they go back to Greeks. Greek philosopher first asked it 2,500 years ago that the atoms are the smallest particles. Our Anu and Paraman were never mentioned anywhere in the educational of the West or in educational field of the India. This is what he called, we must follow in the steps first walked by the ancient Greeks. Only then we will finally achieve the ultimate goals of physics research. Ask your colleagues in our Indian colleagues work in America or India. Can they make such a statement that we also must go to the ancient Vedic wisdom starting with Rig Veda? Can they say that? No. In the West, they always go back to Greeks. And Greeks have gone back to India through Persia. Very, very interesting phenomenon. Let's look at the new status. We are teaching these courses in psychology. James Hillman, he died in 2011, has written a lot of books, but he was a student of Carl Jung. He was one of the founding fathers, along with the Freud, Sigmund Freud, of the modern psychology, which is being taught in America and rest of the world. Look at the title of the book. We have had it 100 years of psychotherapy and the world's getting worse. None of the psychological foundations and principles work in the West based on their classical models, Freud or Jung. He was a student of Jung, very prominent. And we still keep teaching. We have not developed even the field of psychology. Even look at the Bhagavad Gita, look at any scripture. This is the really source of the psychological foundation for the whole humanity. We never did anything on it. We simply ignored it, ridiculed it. Look at the another one, very Arthur Kleinman. He is the Esther Sidney Rapp Professor and Chair, Department of Anthropology, Harvard University. And what he writes, what really matters, this is the textbook which is being used in various universities in Department of Psychology and Psychiatry. See, what really matters? Living a moral life amidst uncertainty and danger. Living a moral life. And look at another very important. Indeed, in the concept of anthropology, biology, history, and cultures are deeply interwoven with the psychiatry and psychology. It means embedded in the social system. All concept, all research methodologies, even data are embedded in the social system. And which reminds me, gives me glimpse of Ayurveda. We have not brought out those ideas up front. Even research, contemporary world is not being done, has not been done for the last 1,000 years in the Ayurvedic tradition. We were much ahead from the rest of the world. Still, we have jewels that can bring out, but we have to articulate in the modern lexicon. And this is what really talking about. Once we talk about the social, we talk about the Lokasamgraha. What a beauty. Please tell me, sorry. The trouble with the rat race is that even if you win, you are still a rat. Beautiful, beautiful, most important under contemporary, one of the most important idea and what you call quotation. The trouble with the rat race is that even if you win, you are still a rat. Sorry, we don't have time for our own self. This is the sorry, we don't have time. This is the very prominent, pervasive excuse among the Indians, whether you are talking about in India or here. They don't want to learn about the wisdom, tradition, and knowledge that is so relevant and powerful even under modern context of living. So this is what the rat race is about. Sorry, we don't have time for our own selves. Look at If you think you don't have time for yourself, look at the last words of wisdom from Steve Jobs. After all, wealth is just a life experience I have had opportunity to know. At this moment, as I lay sick in the bed, reminiscing my entire life, I realized that all the recognition, all the wealth, all the laurels, all the prizes, all the popularity I achieved are insignificant and lack higher meaning in the face of impending death. He died a billionaire at the age of 56. So please, when the billionaires and most successful popular people, personalities who created wealth, who created new technology, when they are giving their ultimate words of wisdom, we must listen to them. And with big question mark, where are we going? Where are we going? This is the must remember when we plan for going forward. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejastu Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvasavahai. Om Santi 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 Hari Om. The meaning is, let us together be protected. Let us together be nourished. Let us together join our mental force and strength for the benefit of humanity. Let our efforts at learning be luminous and filled with joy, endowed with the force of purpose. Let us never be poisoned with the seeds of hatred for everyone. Let there be a peace and serenity among us. With these words, I bow down to all of you for any offenses that I may have committed. Thank you so much. Namaskar, namaskar, namaskar. And I think, unfortunately, something was messed up, so I apologize for it. But I think if Verma-ji has a time, we can have a few minutes of question and answer.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, my name is Suresh.
Hello, sir. Namaskar ji.
हाँ प्रणाम. आपने कहा कि आप ये कोई म्यूजिशियन के साथ, कोई इंस्टीट्यूट के साथ मिलकर के कुछ इंडियन आर्ट फॉर्म पे कुछ काम करना चाहते हैं. उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बताइए. तो इंस्टीट्यूट का क्या नाम है और क्या म्यूजिशियन और क्या करने का सोच रहे हैं?
आप मेरे जो वेबसाइट है ना, जो गूगल वेबसाइट,
अच्छा.
जो इस क्लास की, उस पर आप लिखें अपना क्वेश्चन, एंड ऑल ऑफ यू कैन डू दैट क्वेश्चनिंग ओवर देयर, एंड देन आई विल गिव यू details, because this is a wonderful question you have asked me, and I think we are working on similar modules with others.
Okay, धन्यवाद.
Thank you
What
so much.
is
This is Ravinder here.
Hello.
This is Ravinder here. I had a question.
Ravinder ji, namaskar.
नमस्कार. कैसे हैं आप?
सुबह होती है, शाम होती है, जिंदगी यही तमाम होती है. अच्छा हूँ, अभी तक तो जीवित हूँ.
So मेरा प्रश्न जो था वो that was connected with the Ayurveda issue.
Yeah.
I do agree with this fact that the Ayurveda had made a lot of progress.
That's correct.
To progress in the curing of the diseases and addressing some other issues. But however, I have a fundamental question regarding Ayurveda. You see, the Ayurvedic tradition is based on the three doshas: the kapha,
Yes.
याद नहीं आएगा मुझे.
Three dosas and mixture of three
Yes.
dosas. Yes.
Yes.
Vata, Pitta, Kapha.
Vatpidaka. My question is, what was the measure of this Vatpidaka and how was it measured?
And it's a very important, great question. And this is really something I'm going to discuss when I deal with the Ayurvedic system. How much we know, what we can know, why we could not know. And this is the, what you call, how do you make measurement on this Vata Pitta Kapha? How do you find out? Yes. So I will talk about this when I deal with the Ayurvedic system in the Lokasamgraha Yogadharma. So the question is a wonderful, beautiful question.
And the other, a similar question actually, which is connected with the gunas. Because these gunas actually arise from the Darshana tradition. However, it is being used also in the Ayurvedic tradition. And the guna itself, in the Darshana tradition, the guna gives rise to the measure. Whereas in the case of the Ayurveda, therefore, it cannot be measured.
Actually, this is a great question. I will discuss length, but I will give you indication. The very constitution of our existence, which is a Prakriti and Purush together, Prakriti, Purush, Purushottam. The very Prakriti has Sat, Rajatam, Triguna, and mixture of them. And these are invisible forces. Just like electromagnetic radiation is an invisible force. Mind, mental, the communications are invisible force. Only they appear if I speaking out. My invisible force will appear through some agency. So this is what's very important. The very existence, the material existence, the human existence, these force, individual force will manifest in different forms.
Yeah, you see, actually, the reason why this question arose a little bit more acutely is because in the Vedanta tradition, for example, there is a theory of Panchakritya, Panchaguna and Panchakritya theory, through which the corresponding Srishti arises, different forms arise. The question there is that if these are forms, then the corresponding measure and the corresponding gunas, what does it mean that it is how that it is 1/4 of the original guna, etc. So that becomes a question, and I don't have the answer to that. So I would like to ask.
I will try to answer those wonderful questions as we go along in this course. When the context come up, when I describe the world view of the Vedic rishis, then I will take up these questions one by one and try to clarify and overcome some of the confusion, conflict, and the ignorance. So just hold on till then, because this will be out of place in this.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. But that's my question. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Keshavji.
I cannot
unmute yourself.
Unmute, sir.
Okay, I was looking for this address for your WhatsApp chat, and it is already given in your chat. So I am okay.
That's good.
I got the answer.
Thank you so much. I will add one comment. All of us need to beware of the super hype. And I will give one example. When the penicillin was discovered in 1920s by Ian Fleming, all over the place, news media, academic world, published journals, there was a heading all over the place. Now with the discovery of antibiotic, we will eradicate all kinds of diseases within 3 decades. Did it happen? Exactly when new technology developed, there is a lot of super hype. Why there is super hype? Because several regions, I've not discussed it, I will briefly be one of the primary reasons giving super hypes in the publications and articles and all that, intellectual seminars, talk, it brings more money for funding and more power.
Yes.
Not the truth, not the total truth. Thank you so much. Any other question?
Yeah, Rajiv Chaudhary ji.
चतुर्थ जी,
नमस्कार, नमस्कार राजीव जी।
नमस्कार, मेरा चरण स्पर्श आप तक पहुंचे।
मंगल हो, मंगल हो।
मेरा क्वेश्चन एक चीज से था कि अभी जो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की बात आपने की इस सेमिनार में और पुराने वाले में भी किया था,
हाँ।
और अभी आप वैदिक की भी बात करते हैं, आयुर्वेद की बात करते हैं, मॉडर्न साइंस की बात करते हैं, मेडिकल की बात करते हैं, which I am seeing most of the paradox is either because of mathematics, use of more mathematics, which is more prominent, not to describe the emotions or what you call it, happiness or any other which are beyond the calculation part, and still it is in an integration mode, I can say. I may be wrong. I just want to your views in this. Mathematics, I feel mathematics is a one of the biggest element of unhappiness throughout the world last 500 years or 400 years or maybe whatever time you say.
Let me give you briefly these my answers to these briefly, very briefly. Later on, we will discuss about this. It is I believe it's not the mathematics; it's the digitization of the world in every aspect, with the understanding that the world is run by digital. The worldview. Digitization, it means I can quantify each and every aspect of existence using the quantification process. Okay, so it's not the math. We have embedded mathematics in our tradition. I will talk about whenever you start the process. Mathematics is very much embedded in our tradition, Vedic. But that mathematics is much more multidimensional than quantitative in the sense of modern digital technology. So when you talk about the mathematics, I will give you even the some of the best mathematicians, the references and the quotations. Actually, what is happening in the mathematics world, every branch of knowledge have degree of uncertainty, including GPT. GPT, actually this technology, AI technology, is really based on what you call collecting all the information. So it's a big library.
Absolutely.
It's a big library and they're making connections here and there. So that's what it is really. Basically, that's what actually this used to be called data science. The original scientist who made the fundamental discovery, he called this data science, not the artificial intelligence, which was later on named as the artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence give you a much more broader and deeper understanding that now we are going to create a digital human being, artificial human being. See, that's leading towards that. So this is the big hype without telling us the limitations of all such technologies. Science is not really, we are not discovering new science. It's only technology that is driving us the whole culture. As a result, what is happening, you have a smartphone, I have a smartphone, that's what the quotation I gave earlier. That, okay, my goodness, yes, why the world is so getting apart, why there is loneliness. When we have so much social media and network, why there is loneliness? It means something internally is not being taken care of. So it's not the mathematics. It's the mathematics as is seen and implemented in the digital world to understand the total existence. This is also called materialism. This is also called the reductionism. There are several terms are used. And if I give you new understanding in the field of physics, in the field of chemistry, in field of consciousness study, this whole thing really collapses. This ideology collapses. Thank you. We'll talk later on.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question. How do we get access to your slides?
I think I will send the slides to either
Google. Please join
Rajiv
the Google Classroom that is set up, and all the information will be shared through that Google Classroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will have there. Okay, thank you very much.
You will have all the audience will be there's access to those slides, and I will send those slides to Rajiv ji. He will be better because I'm not so what you call educated. I'm kind of illiterate in the high tech, but he is the very literate, so he can work with me.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, any more questions for today? Okay, so until next time, in 2 weeks, we'll meet again. And until then, pranams to everybody. Thanks, Dr. Chaturvedi.
Thank you, Rajesh ji. Thank you, everyone. I bow down to everyone. Please write your questions on the course website. And then as we go along this course sequence, we will be picking up those questions as we go along. And that will be the most useful and productive aspect of the course.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.